Our idea of privacy has changed in the digital age. Fearful of government tyranny, America's founders designed constraints into the Constitution. Now the tables have turned. Security concerns have prompted the government to engage in a new level of surveillance of the American people and its allies.
This is the truth. This is what's happening. You should decide whether we need to be doing this.
We've been living behind a one-way mirror.
How will we balance privacy and security at home and abroad? The trade-off, privacy in a digital world. Next on Great Decisions. The founding of the United States rests on a principle. Citizens have the right to be free from a tyrannical form of government. But is privacy a right to which all citizens are entitled? While the word privacy does not appear in the Constitution, the U.S. Supreme Court interprets the Fourth Amendment's freedom from unreasonable search and seizure to encompass it.
We deal with a right of privacy older than the Bill of Rights, older than our political parties, older than our school system. Justice William O. Douglas, Griswold v. Connecticut, 1965.
The founders of the country created the Fourth Amendment because they recognized that if the government has too much power to go and take Americans' most private and intimate communications, that power needs to be restrained.
The question of how much privacy an individual is guaranteed versus the government's responsibility to maintain security is now an important debate over our essential freedoms.
It's only been in the last few years that it's been possible for a sophisticated actor like an intelligence agency to actually collect and store and analyze the majority of the world's communications.
Every American got a measure of privacy simply because there were limits on what technology could do to, in effect, invade their privacy. Now, surveillance and invading somebody's privacy is pretty much a piece of cake.
It's a debate that extends beyond American shores. When conducting the affairs of state, the U.S. and its allies around the world believe they are entitled to a degree of privacy.
We have a special relationship with Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and Britain, and we generally don't spy on one another. But there have been times in the past in which it would have been a good idea for Britain to have spied on us. They might have caught Ames or Hansen earlier than we did, or for us to spy on Britain. We might have caught the Cambridge Five before they did.
The reality is that vast amounts of information, be it personal, commercial, or the affairs of state, are now digital, and that can make it vulnerable.
Whether you are an individual, a business, or the collectivity of a nation, you are gaining the advantages of being online, but guess what? There are threats coming after you.
It's a wild west out there. You go online and you don't know who's looking at what you're getting, looking at, or how you're using your credit card online and all of that.
Sometimes people say they don't mind that these programs are there, they have nothing to hide. But to them I'd say, here's a challenge for you. Let's get a record of every conversation you've ever had, an audio of every phone call you've ever had, all of your emails, photos, and videos. Let's give it to a tabloid newspaper, see what they can do with it.
The U.S. has been rocked by scandals about Washington spying on both citizens and international allies. These incidents have ignited controversy about where to draw the line on surveillance.
What you saw, especially in the allegations that the United States had tapped had tapped foreign leaders, was one of outrage. And especially for nations that are our friends, there was this feeling that, look, if you want to know what we're thinking, just ask us. Don't spy on our phones.
The U.S. is definitely not the worst actor in this space. I worked at the State Department. One of my jobs was to address concerns from other countries about NSA activities. And one of the things I always wanted to say was, look, your government is probably no better than the U.S. on some of this stuff. Maybe the NSA has more capabilities, but to the extent many other governments have capabilities, they're using them in worse ways than the NSA is.
The tech community is furious. They're absolutely furious. It's a very libertarian community to begin with. They've never had much affection for Washington. They never really got it.
For the first time since 9/11, the public is inclined to think that we've gone too far in the balance, that we've given up too much liberty in the quest for security.
Today, it's just the NSA and maybe the Russians and the Chinese that have this level of capability to collect so much. But in the coming